My name is Hutch, and I'm your father, and it's that time of year when gameplay from the new Call of Duty starts to hit YouTube in mass quantities because of capture events. I was lucky enough to be asked to come out to San Francisco to Sledgehammer's offices and play the beta build of Call of Duty World War II that's about to drop in about 3 days. To be absolutely clear, I was not paid, neither was anybody else as far as I know. If they were, I'm pretty pissed off. I'd like to see some of that money. I was not paid to make a video talking about how good this game is or anything like this. I was, however, flown out. I was, however, given a hotel room. And for those reasons alone, it's really tricky to be totally impartial or unbiased or totally balanced when talking about your impression of the game. That on top of the fact that as a Call of Duty fan, when you get to play one of these games early, sometimes that alone is enough to get you super excited. You're only playing a few maps. You're only playing with a few of the guns that are in the game. So I just want to make that absolutely clear. This is not my final opinion of the game. That being said, I am really, really excited. I think most everybody else that's played this game early is as well, and I think the feedback from what I'm seeing on social media and in YouTube comments is that there is a level of excitement surrounding this game that hasn't been there for COD in quite some time. So this is without a doubt, in my mind, the most hyped COD has been pre-launch since I'm gonna say Modern Warfare 2. Maybe, I mean, it's either Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 was kind of meteoric though, so it's hard to compare it to that. The other thing that's worth mentioning at the front of this video is that in these play sessions, I'm not just playing against randoms. I'm not just playing against members of games media that maybe don't play a lot of Call of Duty. I'm playing against people like Nadeshot and Drifter and T. Martin and people that have been playing this game for years and years and years. So while I did pretty good the whole time, you're not going to see any like 40 and 3 gameplays or something like that. So forgive the lack of, 20 kill streaks or something like that. I do go on some pretty decent tears that you'll see throughout the video. But I also tried to incorporate some footage using a variety of different guns, and maybe, one of those guns or 2 of those guns, I only get on like a 2-kill streak or something like that. If you're wondering why that's in there, it's because I want to show you guys some of the weapons that I got a chance to play with. So amongst some of the news that was dropping today, it was information on how the divisions work in this game, and I just want to touch on that really briefly. I'm just going to kind of give an overview of my thoughts of what I played so far as you guys are watching some of the gameplay here between, I think, 3 different maps. So what was announced today and what they told us a few days ago at this event was that the divisions are going to work like there's 5 divisions and then you rank up each division. So as long as you're playing within that certain division, there's like airborne, there's a long-range division, there's like an explosives division. I honestly don't remember what they're called, and I'm not going to take the time to look it up. But there's 5 divisions, or I don't know how many divisions there are. I don't even know, you guys. I just don't know. But there's a bunch of different divisions, and you rank up those divisions, and when you reach the max rank of that division, you get the division gun, which they didn't show us all the guns that are in the game. I assume they're going to have some kind of like anti-tank sniper rifle like they had in World War II. I have no idea what they're going to put in there for the ARs, the LMGs, the shotguns, or the SMGs. But that's the way it's going to work, and I like that. It's going to force me to play every single division, and I'm kind of a completionist when I play Call of Duty. I don't like to just play with the same gun. If you guys watch me play Umu Live, old Men of Optic Live, you'll see that basically at the front of every session I'm switching up which gun I'm using because I get super bored if I'm just using the same thing. So I do really like the fact that they're incentivizing you to play with every single class and to play a lot, because I'm guessing it's going to take quite a bit of time to rank up each division. It's not just going to happen in an hour or something like that. So that's one thing that I really liked about the progression system. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to just grinding. That's like one of my favorite parts of when a Call of Duty drops is that first like 2 or 3 weeks where I'm not getting enough sleep and I'm playing this game 10, 12, 14 hours a day. Just basically unlocking every gun, trying everything out. I don't like to look up weapon tutorials as soon as the game first comes out. I don't want people telling me, okay, this is the best gun because of this reason and that reason. I like to go in there and figure it out myself, and the best way you can do that is just through trial and error. Just pick up the gun, start using it, see how it feels. That being said, I want to talk a little bit about the weapon balance in this game. Weapon balance in a game set in World War II is a little worrisome because you got guns like the Sturmgewehr and the M1 Garand, which are these semi-auto rifles with limited clips. They're not very big. Going up against a gun like the PPSH, which has, I think, a 30-round clip by default. So that's tricky. But that being said, I was running around with all kinds of different guns in this game, and each one of them felt pretty powerful with the exception of the double-barrel shotgun. But then again, I didn't have the advanced rifling attachment for that gun, so I don't know how it performs with something like steady aim and an attachment that gives it extra range. I might have to go in there and play with it a little bit more before it becomes as powerful as I'd like it to be. But in the version that I was playing here, it was pretty weak compared to the other guns. I don't know why you wouldn't just use the pump action shotgun. I'm getting a little sidetracked. Each weapon that I picked up, almost every single one of them felt like it was doing damage. Felt like I wasn't at too much of a disadvantage if I ran into someone around the corner with an SMG or something like that. So I don't know what they did. I can't go in there and give you all the math of, you know, which gun does which damage at which range and how many bullets is it going to take you to kill. All I can do is tell you that World at War was a game that was absolutely plagued by weapon balance issues because of the reasons that I mentioned before. It's really hard to stack up a gun like the Garand versus a MP40 with a 60-round clip or however big that clip was in that game. But I didn't get the impression, like, there wasn't a gun that I picked up besides the PPSH where I thought to myself, like, wow, this feels really, really, really good. So I'm hoping that they take the community feedback, but I'm also hoping that they don't tune like Destiny, for example, Destiny 1, one of the problems that plagued that game is that they were nerfing all these different types of guns more and more and more as the game progressed. So a year and a half later, all of a sudden, auto rifles are the new meta, and 6 months after that, hand cannons are the new meta, and a few months after that, scout rifles are the new meta. I don't want to see that happen to this game. And I also don't envy whoever's job it is to make sure that these guns are reasonably balanced. They don't need to be perfectly balanced. In fact, part of the reason why COD is so fun sometimes is playing with guns that aren't that good. So when you pull out like a Scorpion and an ACOG scope in Call of Duty 4, there's some fun in that, and I enjoy some of that. So I'm not an advocate for perfect gun balance. So curious to see what you guys think. Leave your comments and let me know. Now I want to put it to you guys. I want to ask you guys a question. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I mentioned it at the front of the video here. But this, to me, when I kind of survey the landscape of social media and YouTube, this does seem like the most hyped that the community has been and YouTubers, streamers have been pre-launch since, like I said before, Modern Warfare 2. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Are you as excited about this game as I am? Because I got to tell you, man, like, besides like a couple problems that I mentioned in terms of like this gun here, the double action or the double barrel shotgun, I didn't run into too many problems. There weren't too many situations that were making me feel incredibly frustrated. And normally, even at a capture event, even at a preview event, I'm able to identify like at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 things where I'd be thinking to myself, well, I don't really like that. I hope it's not in the full game, or I hope they change that. So are you excited about this game? Are you as excited as I think you guys are? And then the other question that I want to ask you guys is, it kind of touches on the weapon balance issue that I was talking about before. How would you balance guns in this game? How do you balance a gun like the double barrel shotgun? How do you balance a gun like the Storm Gewehr or the M1 Garand? How do you make it so that a game that has an MP40, that has a PPSH, how do you make it so that these guns aren't dominant? I don't know. I'm glad I'm not a video game developer. That's a really grindy, tough life, and you're making decisions that are inevitably gonna piss a lot of people off. So yeah, those are my questions to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my gameplay. I got more gameplay coming up. Another question that I wanted to ask you is, do you guys want to see full gameplays that maybe don't have like high kill gameplay? Would you want to see a 22 and 18 game? My answer to that question is yes, but if you guys don't want to see it, then let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you later.